All right, I think it's time to start. Welcome everybody to Hooligans Underground, and welcome to Standing Room Only. Great comedy at its finest. Hope everybody is good tonight. Glad y'all could all make it. Good to see y'all. So I'm gonna start us off with a little story about Boudreaux and Thibodeau.
Yay.
Bet y'all surprised about that, huh?
I love that.
Stop.
So Boudreaux and Thibodeau were playing around a golf the other day when they both noticed a funeral procession kind of going down the road down the side. Now Boudreaux stopped right in the middle of putting, takes off his cap and put it against his chest, and just stood there, like a pole until the procession had passed. And then he picked up his putter and proceeded to continue the game. Now Thibodeau comments, said, Boudreaux, that was the nicest thing I ever saw you do. Stopping your game like that to show your respects for the dead people. Boudreaux said, man, that's the least I could do. I was married to her for 32 years. Okay, one more. One more before we let Y get up here. The Boudreaux is lying on his deathbed, about to draw his last breath, and and he's surrounded by his wife, Marie, and their four sons. Three of his sons are tall, good-looking, athletic, and intelligent. The fourth, kind of short, a little ugly, homely, dumb as a doornail. Now, Boudreaux, mustering all the energy he has left, he asks Marie, he says, Chef, before I go, there's one thing I got to know. That fourth son right there, is he really mine? If he isn't, I understand, but I just got to know for sure before I meet the Lord. Now, Marie interrupts him softly, said, Boudreaux, don't you worry about that. I promise you that he is your son. Now, Boudreaux, relieved, just kind of closed his eyes, passed away, happily, knowing that, that's his boy. Marie turned to the other three boys and said, man, I'm sure glad he didn't ask me about y'all. All
Love
right.
him.
Save me, Y. Come up here and make us laugh, please.
Well,
Everybody,
yours
let's
were
welcome Y
good.
to
I
the
don't know
stage.
why I'm the only one laughing. Where's the voices in this damn?
Big warm welcome for Y.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do animal jokes because I don't know where the hell I left off with my damn bar jokes. This butcher, he's working when he notices this dog in his shop and he goes to shoo the dog away and he sees this note that's in the dog's mouth. Well, the note says, can I have 12 sausages and a leg of lamb, please? And wrapped inside the note is a $10 note. So the butcher takes the money, puts the sausage and lamb in a bag, and gives the dog the bag in his mouth, and the dog trots out of the shop. Well, the butcher's like really intrigued by this. So he closes up the shop and follows this dog and walks down the street, comes to a crossing. The dog puts the bag down, jumps up, presses the cross button, waits with his bag in his mouth, and the lights change, and he walks across the road. And then he comes to a bus stop and he looks at the timetable. Then he sits at one of the seats to wait for the bus. The butcher's like in awe of this freaking dog. Then comes the bus. The dog walks to the front of the bus, looks at the number, goes back to his seat. Then another bus comes. Again, the dog checks the number, climbs onto this bus. Well, the butcher is like following him on the bus, so like freaking out. The bus goes through town and out to the suburbs, and eventually the dog gets up and he goes to the front of the bus and stands on his hind legs and pushes the button to stop the bus. And he gets off, still got the meat in his mouth. The butcher's following him. They walk down the road. The dog goes to a house. He walks up a path. He drops a package on the step. Well, he walks down the path again, takes a big run and throws himself against the door. Back down the path, takes another run, throws himself against the door. There's no answer, so the dog goes to the window, bangs with his head. He sits at the door waiting, and the door swings open, and a big guy looks down at the dog. "You stupid dog," he says. And the butcher's like freaking out. He's like, this dog's not stupid. So he runs up and he goes, what the hell are you doing? The dog's a genius. He's clever. He could be on TV. And the guy at the door says, Clever, yeah, right. This is the second time this week he forgot his freaking key.
Damn. That was
This
a good one.
walk down a road in New
That's awesome.
York, and the turtle gets mugged by a gang of snails. The cop, detective, he comes to investigate and asks the turtle if he could explain what all happened. The turtle turns to the detective with a confused look and says, I don't know, officer. It all happened so fast. Well,
So what?
okay. So Bob was excited about his new rifle and he decided to try bear hunting. He went up to Alaska, saw a small brown bear, and he shot it. Pretty soon after that, tap on his shoulder, he turned around and sees a big freaking black bear. The black bear said, it was a really bad mistake. That was my cousin. I'm going to give you two choices. Either I maul you to death or we're going to have sex. And after considering that briefly, Bob decided to accept the latter alternative. So the black bear had his way with Bob, and even though he felt sore for about 2 weeks, Bob soon recovered and vowed revenge. Headed out on another trip to Alaska where he found the black bear and he shot it freaking dead. Well, right away, there's another tap on his shoulder. This time, a huge grizzly stood next to him. And the grizzly said, really big mistake, Bob. That was my cousin. You got two choices. Either I maul you to death or I have sex with you. So this time again, Bob thought, I better cooperate with a grizzly bear than be mauled to death. So the grizzly had his way with Bob, too. Though he survived, it took months before he fully recovered from his run-in with that bear. And by then, Bob was completely outraged, so he headed back to Alaska and managed to track down that grizzly bear and shoot it. He felt the joy of sweet revenge. But, of course, there was another tap on his shoulder, and he turned to find a giant polar bear standing there.
Oh man.
Polar bear looked at him and said, admit it, Bob. You don't come here for the hunting, do you?
Yeah.
You all
You
ain't
guys-
in it for the hunting, are you?
You guys are out hiking, and suddenly a bear starts chasing them, and they climb a tree, but the bear starts climbing the tree right after him. The first guy gets his sneakers out of his knapsack, starts throwing them on, and the other guy's like, what the hell are you doing? And he goes, the other guy says, well, when the bear gets close, I thought I'd jump down and make a run for it. And the other guy's like, are you fucking crazy? You can't outrun a bear. The other guy says, I don't got to. All I got to do is outrun you. This old farmer's getting along in years. So the farmer decided to get in. And the old rooster, he saw the young one strutting around. Plus, he was being replaced. So he decided to do something about it. He walks up to the new bird and he said, so, you're the new stud in town. Well, I'm not ready for the chopping block yet. To prove it, I'm going to challenge you to a race around the hen house over there. We'll run around it 10 times, and whoever finishes first gets to have all the hens for himself. And the young rooster, he was proud. So he thought that was an easy match for this old guy. You're on, he says. Since I'm so great, I'll even give you a head start on a half lap. I'll win it easily still. So the two roosters went to the hen house. All the hens gathered to watch. The race started. The hens started cheering that old rooster on. Well, after the first lap, the old rooster was still in the lead. And after the second lap, the old guy's lead slipped a little. He was still hanging in there, though. Unfortunately, the old rooster's lead continued to slip each time around. By the fifth lap, he was barely in front of the young one. And by then, the farmer had heard the commotion. He thought there's a fox after the chicken, so he run out to the house, gets his shotgun, runs to the barnyard, and when he got there, he saw the two roosters running around the hen house. The old rooster was slightly in the lead. He immediately got a shotgun, aimed, fired, and blew the young rooster away. And as he walked away, he said, God damn, that's the third gay rooster I bought this month.
Damn gay
And I'll
roosters.
stop there for the night. For the other comedians, if you need me more later, let me know.
Yeah,
All right,
awesome,
Y,
Y.
big hand for
Thank
Y.
you.
Thank you.
Yay! So you the goddamn best comic in all of Second Life. You know that? Honest to God. You are the best.
Now Thibodeau, he get home early from work one day. When he walks into the bedroom, he finds
I know.
Clotilde huffing, panting, and red as a beet. Thibodeau gets all scared and exclaims, "Oh my God, Clotilde, you look like you're having a heart attack. I'm going to call the doctor." As he runs to the phone, he passes his kids in the hallway, and they crying and they screaming. So he stops. Hey, what's wrong with you kids? And the kids tell him that there's a naked man in the bedroom closet. So Thibodeau runs to the closet, jerks the door open, and sure enough, there's his best friend Boudreaux in his birthday suit in the closet. Now Thibodeau holler at him, said, "Damn it, Boudreaux, Clotilde in here having a heart attack, and you over here scaring the hell out of my kids." Oh, that
Oh my
Boudreaux, man.
God.
I don't know who's worse. Was it Boudreaux or was it Thibodeau? So,
Thibodeau was in the closet.
You know they're
no,
you know
Boudreaux was in the
they're
closet.
related,
Boudreaux.
right?
What was he doing in the closet anyway?
He was hiding. He was
Billy.
hiding from Thibodeau.
Oh,
Somebody was making somebody made Clotilde all red and blushy and whatever. So one bright sunshiny Sunday morning, Boudreaux was sitting in church when all of a sudden a great flash of fire and smoke. And who appeared? Who was it? It was Satan himself. All the congregation jumped up and stampeded out the front door, except for Boudreaux, who just sat in place, unimpressed. Now Satan walks over to Boudreaux, the only person left in church, scowled at him and said, "Hey, don't you know who I am?" Boudreaux calmly replies, "Yeah, sure, I know who you is." "Well, aren't you scared of me?" Boudreaux again calmly just said, "Nope, ain't afraid of you." Now the devil, slightly confused by this, says, "Everybody is afraid of me. Why ain't you?" Boudreaux yawns, puts his hand behind his head, looks at the devil. He said, "No reason to be. After all, I've been married to your sister for 40 years."
Yikes.
Oh,
All right, everybody, let's give a warm welcome to Endora. Doc.
Endora, go buddy.
yay, Endora.
she's
Boudreaux.
gonna fix what ails you right here, right now. Lord have mercy.
Good old
Well,
Dr.
you know what they
Feelgood up there.
say? They say humor's the best medicine. I'll prescribe that.
Yes.
So, you get a bunch of medical people lunch, and especially when it's been a very long day so far and it's only noon. And you're going to get the jokes, you're going to get the humor. And I want to share with you now some of the humorous jokes that I've heard over the years. So, a mother was complaining to her doctor about her daughter's strange eating habits. And all day long, she says she lies in bed and eats yeast and car wax. Doctor looked at her funny. He says, she says, "But what will happen to her?" "Well, eventually," the doctor said, "she will rise and shine."
Oh, God.
So, there's a sign on outside a cosmetic surgeon's office that says, "If life gives you lemons, a simple operation will give you melons."
Yeah.
And
That's true.
medical personnel are not the healthiest eaters. Not the healthiest eaters. Nobody is. The nurses, the doctors, everybody, the technicians, whatever, paramedics, they don't eat healthy at all. And you think, but if it does, someone asked, "Does an apple a day keep the doctor away?" Only if they aim it well enough.
With a slingshot.
Apple to the head.
Betwixt the eyes. Bang.
So there's always been a ongoing thing between a veterinarian and a regular doctor. And Will Rogers summed this up right. He says, the best doctor in the world's a veterinarian. He can't ask his patients what's the matter. He just got to know. Not real funny, not real funny, but that's kind of a cute one.
No, yeah.
It's
So,
true, though,
yeah.
Here's a
But
little
the
bit of a
doctor's always right.
I
Then.
like that one.
That's
I
right.
love that one.
but it's called a practice, don't forget.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, ouch.
wow.
Ouch.
Here's a little bit of a backstory. I worked in a medical clinic, and I have a little fun with the patients that I see. And one day, a patient comes in and she says, "You know what?" She says her kids keep kung fuing in her front door, and they just keep kung fuing, and I can't. I keep
Kung
telling them
fuing?
to stop kung fuing. You know, hi-ya, kicking the. So
Kung fu, yeah.
yeah, so I said to him, and you couldn't resist. I said, "So everybody's kung fu fighting, huh?" So, yes. And I just told them to swing at the air and not hit the door. Well, were they fast as lightning? Patient rolls her eyes. No, it was just scary. I thought they were going to wreck my door. And I go, yeah, I'll bet it was a little bit frightening.
Oh, God.
Be that
Keep
to
going.
one.
Keep going.
You should
Keep
have
going.
electrified the door.
There's a few more lines to that one, I reckon.
No. So a proctologist has been in practice for 20 years. Very comfortable life with his future very secure. So he decided to fulfill his real dream and become an auto mechanic. So he entered
How was
school.
that?
He entered school
Wow.
and he entered mechanic school. The former physician received the results of his first test back with a score of 200%.
Wow.
So confused, he asked the doctor why his score was so high. Well, the teacher said the first part was taking the engine apart, and you did that perfectly, so you got a 50%. The second was to put it back together again, and you did it perfectly, and you got another 50%.
Mhm.
The other 100% was doing it all through the tailpipe.
Oh, man.
Proctologist there, isn't he?
Get it?
Lord have mercy.
Proctologist.
So, again, you're sitting around with all these people, and you come up with these jokes, and you hear these things, and everybody knows that some doctors are fond of golf. So, one doctor says to the other doctor, "What's the difference between a G spot and a golf ball?" A guy will actually search for the golf ball.
That's bad.
That's terrible
And
for the women, ain't it? It's terrible.
two paramedics were talking one night, and the other guy says, "Did you hear about the brothel over on Salina Street that was closed?" He says, "Yeah." He said the sign outside said, "Beat it, we're closed."
Oh, you're
And of
terrible.
course, you got to have the gynecological, you got to have the maternity jokes. What's the difference between a pregnant woman and a light bulb? You can unscrew a light bulb.
Oh, that's true.
He's going to get a little rough. Just going to let you know in case you're faint at heart here.
Get rough. We love it. We love it. Oh, you're a terrible woman. You.
So, what does a penis and a Rubik's Cube have in common?
Good question.
I don't know. They're hard to put together.
The more you play with it, the harder it gets. And again,
Close,
another
close.
little
That's the truth. That's the truth. God damn it.
another sign on a cosmetology or a cosmetic doctor's door. What does the one saggy boob say to the other saggy boob? We don't get some support, people are going to think we're nuts. Here's one for you from this one's from gastrology. How was your boyfriend like a laxative?
Oh.
They both irritate the shit out of you. Sorry for the salty language. I should have said poop. Sorry.
No, never apologize. God, that was good.
Here's another one from gastrology. Why do vegetarians give good head?
Don't know.
Because they're used to eating nuts.
Oh,
That's
wow,
just right.
wow. That's wow. That's just wow. Holy shit. Give me your phone number.
And again, these are actual jokes that are passed around with people who are in the medical field. What's the difference between your boyfriend and a condom?
Good question.
Condoms have evolved. They're not so thick and insensitive anymore.
Damn.
So,
Damn.
so here's one from urology. Why did God give men penises? So they'd at least have one way to shut a woman up.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Oh, well, I can attest to that.
Oh, no, all right. Tell it. Go ahead. You got the story. Tell it now. You open your mouth. Now you
Okay.
Yeah,
So
fuck.
what's
Oh,
the difference between a woman with PMS? Here's one from gynecology. And a terrorist. You can
You know?
negotiate with a terrorist. So, what did the hurricane say to the coconut tree? Hold on to
I'm
your
gonna
nuts.
blow you over.
This
See,
ain't
I'm gonna blow you
this
over.
ain't no ordinary blowjob.
Oh,
Been a lot of you in the audience.
Oh.
Thank you again for having me up here.
yay.
Hey, Endora. Awesome.
All right, big hand for Endora. Thank you, Endora.
Thank you.
Much
All right,
appreciated.
here we go. Boudreaux and Thibodeau were again on the golf course. Now, this is last week. Now, it was on the golf course, about the 8th hole, when they caught up to two ladies a little bit ahead of them. Now, they were playing really slow. After a couple of holes, they couldn't take the slow game no more. And Thibodeau said, "Damn it, Boudreaux, I'm going to go tell them women to either play faster or get the hell off the course." So he walks toward the two ladies, but after only going about halfway, turn around and come back without saying anything to the ladies. Now Boudreaux said, "Why didn't you tell them ladies anything?" Boudreaux said, "I can't go talk to them. One of them is my wife, and the other one is my girlfriend." Boudreaux said, "Man, never mind. I'll go tell them something." He walks a little way, but also he turned around about halfway too. He come back. Thibodeau said, "Man, I thought you was going to tell them something." Now Boudreaux said, "Man, I couldn't let them see me, Tib. I got the same damn problem you had."
Oh,
So I guess that was Clotilde and Marie playing golf.
no.
Lord
That's bad.
All right, I got one more. Now Thibodeau and Abear. See, I got a new one here. We got Abear in the group. Thibodeau and Abear were driving down the interstate yesterday. Now Thibodeau was only driving by 10 miles an hour. Traffic was passing them left and right, 18 wheelers swerving all around them trying to keep from hitting them, and traffic was generally in chaos. Now, here, State Trooper Boudreaux, sitting near the overpass, saw this, proceeded to pull Thibodeau over. Trooper Boudreaux said, "Hey, Thibodeau, why you going so slow?" "Man, officer, I always drive the speed limit. Look there at the sign right there, and it say 10. Now, Trooper Boudreaux tell him, "Thibodeau, you dummy, that's the highway sign. This is Interstate 10. Boudreaux looks over it and notices Abaz shaking and sweating and asks him what the problem is. "You on drugs or something, boy?" Now Abaz said, "Boy, I sure wish you'd have stopped us about 10 minutes ago when we was on Highway 182.
It's cute.
All right, with that, Fiddler, you want to come up here for a couple?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yay, Fiddlah Wee!
All right, everybody, let's welcome Fiddler. Big hand.
Yay, Fiddlah
Thank you, everybody. I'm doing a persona tonight. I'm not myself. I'm Ron White, if you're familiar with him.
Ron White.
All right? Ron White's awesome. He's always got a drink in his hand, and he's got some really quick jokes. Okay.
We're ready. We ready.
For instance, if you're ever walking down the beach and you see a girl dressed in a bikini made out of seashells, and you pick her up and hold her to your ear, you can hear her scream. I believe that life gives you lemons. You should probably make lemonade. And try to find somebody who life has given them vodka and have a party. I call her. She tells me my dog, Sluggo, just took a dump on the new carpet. I'm like, shoot him. She goes, that's not like you, Ron. I have a genuine problem and you're being sarcastic. All right, honey, I'm sorry. Put the dog on the phone. I'll talk to him. People are saying that I'm an alcoholic, and that's not true. Because I only drink when I work, and I'm a workaholic.
I missed that one. I didn't hear that one at all.
Well, that's your fault.
I didn't hear it at all. It's
People
not-
are saying I'm an alcoholic, but it's not true because I work a lot and I'm a workaholic.
I only drink when
All
I work.
right.
Only drink when I
Why
work.
are you a vegetarian? I asked him. And it wasn't even because meat is bad for you. He said that raising cattle was bad for the planet. With cow flatulence in the ozone and the clearing of land for raising of cattle. He says, what are you doing to help the environment? I says, I'm eating the fucking cow. Party says troops are coming home. I'm guessing they'll be out of Afghanistan about the same time I run out of cigars and scotch. Okay. They say I should listen. They say I should listen to my gut instinct. When my gut tells me what not to do, I drink till it shuts the fuck up. I do whatever the fuck I want. My tour bus and I are a lot alike. We're both always on the road and consume large quantities of flammable liquids. Should pot be legal? Every state is different. In California, you can get it as a topping on your pizza. I like California. And for the last one, every business should have a designated sexual harassment area. For old school employees, that's still like a nice slap on the ass for a raise. Thank you.
Yay,
All right.
Hillary!
Big hand for Fiddlah.
I did my
You're Ron White.
All right, so Boudreaux, Thibodeau, and a bunch of their buddies were out on a deer hunting trip. Late one afternoon, Boudreaux walks into the camp carrying a huge buck on his back. One of the guys asks, "Where's Thibodeau?" Boudreaux tells him he's back there in the woods a couple of miles back. I think he done had a heart attack or something. The buddy, shocked, asks, "You mean you carried that buck back and left poor Thibodeau laying there in the woods?" Boudreaux said, "Yeah, man. It was a tough choice to make, but I figure ain't nobody gonna steal Thibodeau. You know they're gonna take that buck from him."
You know, that's just about as terrible a joke as I ever heard.
Yeah, that's about as true as you can get in Maine.
Lord have
All right,
mercy.
everybody, big hand for Randy. Come on up here, Randy.
Yay, Randy! Let's
I'm
go,
gonna try. I'm
Randy!
to
Big
try.
welcome to Randy. Randy, make us laugh.
I want to try. I don't know. I reckon I don't know if I picked the right avatar to wear because I got a whole shitload of them.
Yeah,
But
just stand in the middle. Get right in front of the mic.
It's not
You
the
get-
avatar, it's the voice, Randy. Come on, buddy.
There you go. That's good. That.
Yeah, could be a.
all right, hey, well,
Look
if
at
you-
me drinking whiskey.
what voice would you like? I say you have to tell me. You Richard Attenborough, well, never mind. I do have a book here that I would like to read to you from. It's called Jackie Mason, The World According to Me. And I have never, ever read anything out of this book. They are significantly long jokes. No, it's true. It's true. I have no, and of course, Jackie Mason doesn't sound like that. Jackie Mason sounds like a Jew from New York City, and he speaks really fast. All right, so I don't know which. All right, let's see. Wait,
All right. So these are jokes you never told.
I've never told these before. No,
And you've never read them before.
I have never read them before. But here's
Oh,
one on
Lord. We're
psychiatry.
in for a surprise now.
Well,
No.
I do have others. All right, I do have
No,
others,
go.
but all right, I tried to keep Lauren's place going, and my rendition of Lauren was a Jewish deli owner from the Bronx. Well, in keeping with that, I found this book about Jackie Mason, and I have never read this before. I don't even know how many pages this joke is. It's crazy. All right, it could be too long.
God.
All right, let me bear with me, please, folks, please. And if you like it,
Take her clothes off or what?
no. It's better to be. Who likes fully naked sex? That's no good unless you take a shower first and a shower after. I mean, come on, got to be kosher about these things.
All right.
All right. This one here says psychiatry. And I'm going to do it as best as I can in Jackie Mason from what I've heard of him, okay? When I tell you I don't care if a person laughs or not, it's because I know who I am. That's not arrogance. That's mental health. How's my mic? Does it sound good?
Yeah.
Good. You good?
Okay.
Wanna get to
It's mental health, people, all right? All you SO people that you know nothing about mental health, all right? That's why you're here. All right. Any psychologist will tell you that if you know who you are, it doesn't matter what other people think of you. The measure of yourself should be within yourself. You should have enough confidence to know who you are and not care what other people think. Because all great men were always rejected, neglected, even hated in their own lifetime. I'm talking to you personally. Oh, excuse yourself. That was, bring that up again. We'll vote on it. Okay. All great men were rejected. You'll never have this problem if you study history. You're not that busy. You'll find that every great man has hated in his own lifetime. What is the reason for that? Because nobody is going to admit that he's stupid or simple, or that he just doesn't know what you're talking about.
But you do. You always say, I'm so stupid, I can't play this game.
Well, that's true. But I'll convince myself that I'm nuts. And why all great men are considered nuts in their lifetime? Because other people don't know what the hell they're talking about. That's why it doesn't bother me that you might think I'm nuts, because I know who I am. That's right. This is a great trick in life, to know who you are. There was a time I didn't know who I was. Oh, thank the gods. Now I know. I don't know if you heard about it, but I went to a psychiatrist. I'm not ashamed to admit it. It's because I didn't know who I was. He took one look at me and said right away, "This is not you." I said, "What do you mean this is not me? Then who is it?" He said, "Well, I don't know either, comrade." I said, "Well, then what do I need you for?" He said, to find out who you are. I said to myself, if I don't know who I am, how do I know who to look for? And even if I find me, how do I know it's me? Besides, I want to look for me. Why do I need him? I can look myself. Or I could take my friends. We'd know where I was. Besides, what if I find the real me and I find out he's even worse than me? Who? Why do I need him? I don't make myself enough for anybody, for myself even. I need a partner. 10 years ago, I'd be glad to look for anybody. Now I'm doing good. Why should I look for him? He needs help. He needs help, not me. Why doesn't he look for me? And the search for the real you will have to continue. That'll be $100, please. I said to myself, if this is not the real me, why should I give him $100? I'll look for the real me. Let him give me $100. But what if I find the real me and he doesn't think it's worth $100? Then I've stuck my money with the real him. Then I said, for all I know, the real me might be going to another psychiatrist altogether. Might even be a psychiatrist himself. Wouldn't it be funny if you're the real me and you owe me $100? I said to him, I'll tell you what, I'll charge you $50 and we'll call it even. Boom, end of joke. Jackie Mason,
That
wonderful.
was a long one, Randy, but it was
I
funny
know,
at
I'm
the
sorry, I'm sorry. You know, I never read that one before. I hope I did pretty good. I don't know.
end. You did do good. Man, I was struggling to keep up with that one. All
Well,
right,
I
next
try.
one.
You know, Jackie Mason, he talks really fast. You know, if I had practiced it, I would have done it really fast like Jackie Mason did.
Well,
Oh,
you
that's
just got to
funny.
remember the intellect
I
level
have,
of your audience.
I've got
I
Marilyn
don't know.
Monroe's favorite joke here. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson went on a camping trip. After a good meal and a bottle of wine, they lay down for the night and went to sleep. Some hours later, Holmes awoke and nudged his faithful friend. Watson, look up and tell me what you see. Watson replied, I see millions and millions of stars. And what does that tell you? Holmes asked. Watson pondered for a minute. Oh, well, astronomically, it tells me that there are millions of galaxies and potentially billions of planets. Astrologically, I observe that Saturn is in Leo. Horologically, I deduce that the time is about 3:15. Theologically, I can see that God is all powerful and that we are small and insignificant. Meteorologically, I suspect that we will have a beautiful day tomorrow. And why, Holmes? What does it tell you? Holmes was silent for a minute, then spoke. Someone has stolen our tent. And that was Marilyn Monroe's favorite joke, believe it or not. I don't know if you liked it or not, but I have
That
a
was
bunch
very
of
good. I like that one.
Yeah, you have to think about it. You have to think about it a little. I have some George Carlin. I have lawyer jokes. Lawyer jokes. A big city Chicago lawyer went duck hunting in rural Wisconsin. He shot and dropped a bird, but it fell into a farmer's field on the other side of a fence. As the lawyer climbed over the fence, an elderly farmer drove up on his tractor and asked the lawyer what he was doing. The lawyer responded, well, I shot a duck and it fell into this field and I'm going to retrieve it. And the old farmer replied, well, this is my property and you're not coming over here. Oh, the indignant lawyer replied, I'm one of the best trial lawyers in all of Chicago. And if you don't let me get that duck, I'll sue you and take everything that you own. Well, the old farmer smiled and said, well, apparently you don't know how we do things here in Wisconsin. We settle these small disagreements like this with the Wisconsin 3-kick rule. Well, the lawyer asked, what is the Wisconsin 3-kick rule? The farmer replied, well, first I kick you 3 times, and then you kick me 3 times, and so on, back and forth until somebody gives up. Well, the attorney quickly thought about the proposed contest and decided that he would easily take the old codger. He agreed to abide by the local custom. The old farmer slowly gets down from the tractor and walked up to the city feller. His first kick parted the toe of his heavy work boot into the lawyer's groin, which dropped him down to his knees. His second kick nearly ripped the nose off his face. The lawyer was flat on his belly when the farmer's third kick to a kidney nearly caused him to give up, but he didn't. The lawyer summoned every bit of his will and managed to get to his feet and said, okay, old man, now it's my turn. Well, the old farmer smiled and said, nah, you know what, young feller? I give up. You can keep the duck.
Good one, good one.
I'm good.
Another long one, right? I'm sorry. I know. Wait. You never apologize. Never apologize, especially in Second Life.
Big
I
hand.
never read any. Thank you. Thank you. I would bow if
Way
I
to go,
could. If I had.
Randy, man.
I never read these things.
All right, I got one more Boudreaux joke for y'all, and but I'm gonna tell this before I call for open mic. So if anybody out there in the audience has got a little joke banging around in their head, or trying to get out, something you've been hanging on to for a while,
Oh yeah.
the moment is coming.
I got one joke.
Come
One
on,
Okay.
joke.
Good.
Come and tell
Okay.
it. Come and
One day,
legs go all the
Boudreaux
way
come
up,
home
too.
from work, and as he drives up to his house, he sees old Raggedy pick-em-up truck, also known as a country Cadillac, leaving his house and heading up the road. He walks in the house, takes off his cap, and sits down in his rocking chair, and he asks Marie, who that was just left here? Marie says, May, that was Clarence. Boudreaux said, okay. Now, a few days later, Boudreaux get home from work and see the same pickup truck. Walks into the house, takes his cap off, sit down in his big old rocking chair, and he said, Marie, who that was that just left the house?
Who that was?
Marie said, I done told you that was Clarence. Boudreaux say, oh, okay. Now the very next day, same thing, just left again, right? Marie said, yep. Now Boudreaux's thinking now, Marie, are you and Clarence having an affair? Marie said, May, yeah, we having an affair. Now with that, Boudreaux put his cap back on, walks out the door, and climbs in his truck. He said, Boudreaux, where you going? Now Boudreaux said, I guess I got to go find that Clarence fella and beat him up. About 5 minutes later, Boudreaux drives back up to the house, walks in, takes his cap off, sits in his chair. And then Marie said, Boudreaux, you weren't gone very long. What happened? Now Boudreaux said, Marie, I was going down to find that Clarence and beat him up. When I got to the overpass by the I-10, I saw this big sign that said, Clarence, 12'6". I figured it might be better just to let this one slide.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
only from a truck
Oh,
driver.
Yay.
Yeah.
All
do I
right,
have to?
everybody, let's welcome Gleesa.
Hey, Gleesa.
I only
Hey,
have.
Gleesa.
I only have joke. Hey, hi, Lyle.
Two jokes.
Come on, you
Wow.
2 jokes now. I raised it to 2.
Can you make it 4?
No, just 2.
Make it 4.
So-
Make it 10.
So this is the thing that happens when you live in a city. You know, there's people they're walking across the street and whatnot. Well, this guy was walking across the street and he had like 3 games of Scrabble in his arms, and He's going across the street, taxi cab, beeps at him, scares the hell out of him. So all these Scrabble tiles go all across the street. I'm on the other side, and I say, "Hey, what's the word on the street?" And now this my last one is: have you heard about the new restaurant called Karma?
Mm-mm.
No, well, there's no menu. You get what you deserve.
Doggy poo poo.
That's all I got.
Yay, Gleesa.
All right, yay, Gleesa, everybody.
Gleesa,
big
you got to
hand for
drink a
Gleesa.
little bit more and it'll come to you.
All right, guys, I have no more jokes to tell.
I am.
And so anybody in the audience, this is time for open mic. If you want to come up here, come on up. If you
Come
don't
on,
want to come
folks.
up here, you can tell your joke from where you're at. The camera will find you. You don't have to get up on stage.
Well, don't
So,
scare them. Don't scare them, Nick.
No, I'm not trying to scare nobody. I'm
No,
trying to
I
make them
know
feel
that,
very
but
welcome.
you know, some of them are camera shy.
Well, I want to tell one about the dogs versus cats.
All right,
Tell it.
go.
Tell
Yeah. Do I have to get on the stage to do it?
No,
Sure, why
You
not?
don't have to.
You can
All
do
right.
it. You can move.
All right. What is a dog? Dogs lie around all day, sprawled on the most comfortable piece of furniture in your house. They can hear a package of food opening a half a frickin' block away.
Yup.
There. They look really dumb and lovable all the time. When you want to play, they want to play. When you want to be alone, they want to play. They're great at begging, and they do disgusting things with their mouths when they try to give you a kiss. So my conclusion is dogs are tiny men in little fur coats. All right, so what's a cat? Cats do what the hell they fucking want, and they rarely listen to you. They're totally unpredictable and moody. They whine when they're not happy. When you want to play, they want to be alone. When you want to be alone, they want to play. They expect you to cater to their every whim, and they drive you nuts and cost an arm and a leg. Conclusion, cats are tiny women in little fur coats.
That's
resemble
funny.
that remark.
And true.
Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's good.
Yeah, I resemble that remark.
hey, it's
Hey,
the dog
wow.
world, and I just found out I was cat.
More. Encore. Encore.
More.
I got one for you.
Hey, come on.
Now, just a quick one. Did you hear about the moron abortion clinic?
Hmm?
Yeah, it was a 10-month waiting list.
That's a good one. I like that
You know
one.
what? I think it's going to come to that. It won't be long before it comes to
All right, everybody.
paying for this
All right,
shit.
it's time to shut it down for the night. I thank everybody
I know,
for
I
being
know.
here
I'm
and
sorry.
everybody.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
make sure to be here next week.